This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, traveling the galaxy because the World Economic Forum came out with a list of top 10 places to invest in the galaxy. And coming in at number 2 is Singapore. So we're asking famed billionaire and investor Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, about Singapore. What do you think about Singapore being named the number 2 top place to invest in the galaxy?
Probably because the reason being they have a bunch of exports, and because a lot of their exports, investments there would be a good idea. Especially since the reason being stock with imports and exports is always a good thing. So I'd say Singapore is a good idea.
Now, what kind of investments do you have in Singapore?
I actually have a couple of military things going there, such as for plastics, stuff like that. But it's also a great place to invest for like grains, oats, things such as that.
Now, what do you see in the future for Singapore?
I think they ought to be pretty good. They should be able to hold up on their own. Lately, there's been kind of an economic crisis. They've been holding up pretty well on their own. So I think when it all comes down to it, they're doing a lot better than us.
Right. So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Best bet, always think about your investments. Make sure when you invest wisely. Make sure you take a couple steps ahead before time.
Okay. So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, traveling the galaxy because the World Economic Forum came out with its top 10 places to invest in the galaxy. And coming in at number 2 is Singapore. So we're here in Singapore asking Bumblebee, what do you think about Singapore being the number 2 top place to invest in the galaxy?
I think if you look throughout history, world powers change. Going back with the oldest civilization, Egypt. Egypt at one point, ancient Egypt, was the most advanced, richest country that there was, but eventually they fell. They weren't paying attention to what they was doing, lost track of other countries that were rising. And I think, you have to look at history to look for your future. And America, thinking that it's so powerful and so great, is allowing all these third world countries to come up and grow in economics, grow in strength, grow in trade. And we really have to stop fighting amongst ourselves like Congress is doing right now about this fiscal cliff. And instead of fighting amongst ourselves, work together and get this country out of the number 5 spot, or these other little countries are just going to rise up and take over.
Now, what
history shows.
Now, what kind of investments do you have in Singapore?
Honestly, none. So you see there, I haven't done my homework either.
Now, what do you see as the future of Singapore?
Someone that America is going to have to become a very big ally with, do a lot of trade with them, and learn what they're doing. That's the most important thing. If somebody's succeeding, learn what they're doing.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
As always, take care of this world. It's the only one we got, and love one another.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, traveling the galaxy, and today we're here in Singapore because the World Economic Forum came out with its list of top 10 places to invest in the galaxy. And coming in at number 2 is Singapore. So we're here with Deadpool. What do you think about Singapore being the number 2 top place to invest in the galaxy?
I think Singapore's GDP has gone up dramatically, and I think they have a very small amount of debt, and they're an emerging economy just like India and China, and I think they're just going to keep steamrolling ahead.
Now, what kind of investments do you have in Singapore?
I met this chick on a bus. She's from Singapore. She turned me down, but right now I know she's on a healthy diet of rice and udon noodles.
And what do you see as the future of Singapore?
The future of Singapore is fat billionaires who go there, who are averse to hanging out with Warren Buffett, and people who like doing things with ambidextrous, flexible Asian women.
So in closing, this is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. President Obama, I think that you should help us get out of the physical cliff before we have to get over the mental cliff that is your presidency.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out.